Today I'm going to be sharing a DIY project. I want to make a new sign for the pantry door in the kitchen. After taking down all of the Christmas decorations, I kind of miss having something hanging on the door. So I want to make something with some farmhouse style that I can leave up year round when I don't have something seasonal to hang on the door. And I'm going to be using this to make my sign. I'm just going to change it up and make it my own. But I got this at Dollar Tree from the Valentine's Day decor. So if you're interested in doing something similar, this is what I will be using. So I'm definitely going to get to that today. So let's get to it. So the sign was actually larger than what I wanted for my pantry sign, so I decided to take it outside and use my jigsaw to cut it in half. After I had my sign cut in half, I used some sandpaper to smooth out all of the edges and also sand the image on the sign to get all the glitter off and just smooth everything out. And while I was working on my sign, I decided to go ahead and do the other piece as well because I'm sure I will probably use this in a project at some point. So I thought I might as well get it done now. After I had it ready to go, I took it inside, put down some craft paper to protect my tabletop, and then I snipped off the jute hanger that was already attached to the sign. I do plan to reuse this, so I didn't want to cut it any shorter than I had to. And the next thing I'm going to be doing is painting a couple of coats of white acrylic paint onto the sign. I painted on 2 to 3 coats of paint, letting it dry very well in between before I felt like it was covered really well, and then I was able to move on to the next step. I wanted my sign to have a farmhouse, rustic, kind of a faux barnwood or shiplap type of look. So I'm just using some black acrylic paint and brushing it lightly along my sign. And I will do it heavier in different areas, especially around the edges, and also draw my dividing line. I just wanted it to have that faux rustic, kind of a wood type of look. After I was happy with the design, I replaced the jute string back into the holes so that I would have my hanger. So I knew I wanted the word pantry to be on my sign, so I decided ultimately to use my silhouette and cut it out on adhesive vinyl. So to complete my sign, I decided to add a burlap bow. I'm using wired ribbon, and I'm just going to tie a simple bow, cut the ends at an angle, and then I will hot glue it in place. Really, the only cost associated with this project was the sign itself from Dollar Tree. If you're familiar with Dollar Tree, then you know that it cost me $1. I had everything else on hand, and I think this project turned out so cute. And here is another look at the before and the after. I also wanted to update this little charging station that I've had in my kitchen for years and years. In fact, I don't think we ever even used it as a charging station, but it was actually made for charging up cell phones, to be like a central hub for everybody to put their phones. It has little dividers where you sit your phone, and then underneath that was a charging cable or cord where you could plug in your phone so they could charge all in one area of the house. I don't think we ever even used it for that. I've been debating on getting rid of it, but I thought I might as well give it an update and see what I think after that. So I decided to give it a farmhouse look, and I'm cleaning it all out, wiping it all down. Using some white acrylic paint, I will give it a new paint job, and then I will add just a little bit of black here and there to try to give it more of a rustic type of feel, and we'll see how this turns out. As you can imagine, painting this piece took quite a bit of time. It was a very time-consuming project. I would have definitely chosen spray paint and taking it outside, but the weather just wasn't cooperative today. It felt like 9 degrees and just wasn't a good idea, so I decided I really wanted this done, so I would just use a brush and paint. But it did take me the better part of a morning to get this done. And to give it more of a rusted look, I'm using some jet black acrylic paint, and I will lightly brush that over the piece. But the good thing about paint is you can change it up if you're not happy with it, and I thought the black was just a little too bold or just a little bit too much for this piece, so I went back over it with white to tone it down. After I had the color the way I wanted, I actually was debating on the little shelf if I wanted it to be more of a flat shelf or if I wanted the divider side to show. Eventually I ended up choosing the divider side, and I chose to go ahead and paint the dividers as well. I really really like how this turned out. I like it so much better now than I did before. I'm still not sure if I'm going to leave it in the kitchen or in this space or what I'm going to do with it exactly, but until I make up my mind, it's just going to stay right there. And the last thing I'm going to share is putting some cup hooks into my china hutch. I feel like the top shelf just looks really crowded, and if I could hang the cups, it would be visually more appealing and not look so cluttered. So I am going to work on that and just kind of eyeball it and see where I want them to go and get those in place. When I decided to use the cup hooks, it was actually very late, so the lighting and all of that is kind of terrible, but I decided to go ahead and include it in the video so you can see the before and after and how something so simple can actually make a pretty good impact on a space. And if you see a light flickering, there's actually a candle that's on a timer on the top shelf. I have those throughout the house and they come on in the evening, so that's what you're seeing there. So adding cup hooks to my china hutch made such a difference, and I feel like it just shows how it doesn't have to cost a lot of money to change things up or update things to better suit your taste, and I really like how it turned out. Here is another look at the before and the after. And if you're new to my channel, I share a lot of budget-friendly DIY home and lifestyle content, and I would love it if you hit subscribe and hang around. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.